Welcome back, Turning Hard Times to Good Times. I'm your host, Jay Taylor, and I'm really pleased to have Patrick Highsmith with me once again. He is the president and CEO of Timberline Resources. It's a mineral exploration resource development company focused on gold and copper discoveries in north central Nevada, USA. I think we might say gold and copper and probably silver and maybe some other metals as well, but the focus has been primarily on gold, I would say. He is also the chairman of Firefox Gold Corp, and he's had a long history, quite a few years, about 3 decades or so of experience in exploration, and he's been with major mining companies as a professional geologist and an executive with companies like Rio Tinto, BHP Billiton, Newmont, Lithium One, Pure Energy Minerals, and Fortescue Metals Group in Australia. And, he's worked on a whole lot of projects, lots of experience. He is a very talented man, and we're very pleased to have him today. He does, as I mentioned, he is the chairman of Firefox, but today we're going to talk to him about Timberline, and which is located in Nevada. Their project is located in Nevada's Eureka Gold Belt. The company trades in the U.S. under the symbol TLRS. You can buy it in Canada under the symbol TBR, 159.7 million shares. It traded earlier today at 15.5 cents. Now it's 13 cents. It gives it a market cap around 21 million. It has 508,000 ounces of gold in the measured and indicated category, and another 141,000 in the inferred category. So it is a junior with a resource already, but it has an awful lot more in mind than a mere 500,000 ounces of gold. And so really happy to have Patrick with us again. Thanks for joining me, Patrick.
Hello, Jay. Good to be with you.
It's always good to have you. And, we've had a couple of years that haven't been all that exciting for gold and silver, but it looks to me like we could be turning the corner. Last time we had you on was November 1. And then just a few days later, you reported some assays from the Waterwell zone, which I know is a very highly prospective, some really great numbers there, which is down dip from the resources, I understand it, from that resource I just mentioned. What did you learn from the results of your drilling program in 2022?
Jay, we've just wrapped up the drilling in sort of November and still waiting actually on a few assays. Probably early next week or possibly late this week we'll announce the final holes from that program, Jay. But the takeaway there was that the Waterwell zone is a significant new discovery. We really believe we're inside the footprint of a discovery that could be a couple of million ounces of gold or more. Now, it's not a resource yet. It is down dip from the resource you mentioned, which comes to surface, by the way. And that's really been the story at the Eureka project, is we knew we had this oxidized gold at surface. There were significant heap leach production here, as you and I have discussed in the past, dating back to the 1980s. And we went in a couple of years ago with some new institutional investors, kind of revamped the management team a little bit, and we realized that these higher grade rocks down dip from that resource were really the best place to sort of show the market and the world that this 29 square mile project has the potential for multi-million ounce discoveries, and that those will come with grade. And so, just to sum up the answer to your question, our real takeaway from this year's program is that it's clear that we do have a consistently mineralized system. It's called the Waterwell Zone. It is at a contact between the Dunderberg Shale and the underlying Hamburg Formation. And what keeps happening, Jay, is every time we drill that contact, we hit gold. Early in the year and into the second quarter, we were showing really strong intercepts of over 40 meters of continuously mineralized rock. One of those holes on the north end averaged 44 meters of 4.1 grams gold, with a nice 12-meter run of over 9 grams within that. And then almost half a kilometer south of that, we drilled another hole, reported that a little later, and that was 41 meters of 5.1 grams of gold, which had a 20-meter interval of 9.5 grams, Jay. So we followed up on that. We'll report a couple of more step-out holes as we end up the reporting of this program, perhaps early next week. And then we're turning towards what we expect to be a very, very busy 2023 at the Waterwell Zone and at several other targets on the property.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Oswego target, Windfall target, And I guess the resources at Lookout Mountain, is that right?
That's right. The resource itself is over on the west side, as we've been discussing, which is the Lookout Trend, and that's where the water well zone sits. And then sort of in the middle of the property is a smaller trend, but with some really good new numbers coming out last year, an area called Oswego. We put a couple of more holes in there this year, but we really didn't focus there. And then on the east and northeast side of the property, there's an area that's over 8 kilometers long with drill-indicated gold called the Windfall Zone or the Windfall Trend. And there were 3 open pits on our claims, Jay, that produced over 115,000 ounces of gold back in the 80s. And we've got a number of good drill-indicated hits around that. And I guess even further north from there, folks will recall that the Eureka District was originally a silver district. Silver, zinc, and lead were discovered there in the early 1860s. And that's what led to its heyday when it was the second biggest silver producer in America. And then, of course, our neighbor to the north, I80 Gold Corp, has been reporting some fantastic drill results at their Ruby Hill project for gold. But they've also really made news with very high-grade silver intercepts in a carbonate replacement deposit type system that is hearkening back to those original days of Eureka. And we've got a few silver targets up our sleeves ourselves, Jay, that we intend to hit in 2023.
Yeah. So that silver, I think you've had some silver, you've hit into this carbonate replacement system, some silver values in a drill hole or so, have you, at this stage?
That's right, Jay. A couple of our deeper holes, mostly to just the north and the east from the water well zone where we hit this gold, we've hit long runs of, medium grade silver, but over 200 meters of it in a couple of cases, 200 meters of 5 to 6 grams silver with lead, zinc, and lower levels of gold. And that's the southernmost discovery that we know of a carbonate replacement type system in the Eureka District, and that's a little deeper. We will be returning to that area. Our mutual friend Quentin Henney keeps telling us we've got to drill some deep holes under that because that's where I80 Gold and others have had some success there. So we will return to that area. We call that the Graben Zone there, and the silver associated with it. But there's also some silver that comes to surface, Jay, farther north in the vicinity of an area we call New York Canyon, only a couple of kilometers from I80 Gold's property, and we've had those claims in the company for a long time now. But there were a few small properties interior to that we are in the works of acquiring that have some silver mineralization that we look forward to be talking about very, very soon. So these are small acreage, but they're patented claims, Jay. And as you know, patented claim is effectively private property with both surface and mineral rights. And they've been held for over a generation in private, in some cases, families and private groups. And we expect to do some more consolidating and to roll out some exciting silver targets. I think certainly before mid-February, we hope to have some news in that. And that should set up our calendar pretty well, giving us about 3 areas of focus for 2023.
No, that's really exciting. So you have, do you have any idea yet what you're going to be doing the first quarter or so? I mean, how will you start the year? What will your exploration program look like?
Yeah, absolutely. We are still crunching data, as I said, so folks will see some new maps and new cross sections coming out next week with this news release that will update us primarily on the water well zone. We've been looking at targets at the Windfall Trend and expect to be turning out probably a sort of exploration outlook disclosure probably in February, running up to around PDAC time when we'll be talking with folks. We don't expect the drills to come back in first quarter, Jay, but probably with a bit of luck earlier in second quarter than last year. We hope to have drills turning by April, May. And so first quarter, it's, processing data, tying up some, hopefully some new acquisitions that are just small property deals that we'll discuss when those are completed, and then planning a drill program to hit and focus on the water well zone, the Windfall Trend, where we have, again, oxide gold mineralization coming to surface and some good indications of sulfide roots beneath that, And then, as I said, I think there'll be some silver and gold-silver targets on some of these newer targets, which we'll be mentioning during the first quarter disclosures as well.
Yeah, I guess you mentioned patented projects, patented land. That, I guess, means it's probably easier to get permits and to start working on those than it is those unpatented claims.
That's generally true. We hold a very large land position that includes a plan of operations, Jay, which gives us over 250 permitted drill sites, mostly along the Lookout Trend, which is many kilometers north-south. And that's a big area where we are fully permitted to drill, which is exciting. But you're quite right. At Windfall, where we hold patented claims, and in other areas where we hold patented claims, it is much easier, particularly if access to these properties is good. One doesn't have to go across the federal land with any dozers or anything like that. And that's just the situation at Eureka. We have beautiful road access to our project, and we have patented claims with tremendous access. So it is true that you can move quicker with drilling and that exploration activity, both at our Windfall Trend area, where we hold patents, and at some of these new targets that we'll be talking about early in the new year.
Well, you certainly do. You said 29 square kilometers?
Miles.
Miles. Okay.
70 square kilometers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And you mentioned the Windfall target, of which there's some patented claims there. That I think I heard you say stretches 8 kilometers in length.
That's right. Yeah, it's a big area with those 3 open pits I mentioned, and then drilling to the south of that and a bit to the north as well. If folks have been following our neighbors at Golden Lake Exploration, they've been doing some drilling right on the property line just north of our Windfall Trend. So it's a well-established gold trend, and we look forward to getting the drills back there in 2023 for the first time in a number of years.
Crescat Capital is a major shareholder. Are there any other institutions that are in there?
Yes, our biggest shareholder outside the board is Crescat Capital, and they are, I suppose it varies, but they're over a 10% shareholder, maybe 13 or 14% of the companies issued and outstanding. At the board level, we have about 16% of the stock, and then we also have a large fund out of London called the Jupiter Gold and Silver Fund. They manage about $1 billion, and Jupiter owns about 9.9% of Timberline. So a nice, strong institutional base. And we've got a lot of skin in the game ourselves at the board level.
A lot of skin in the game, and somewhere paging through your presentation, your corporate presentation. It's online. People can go and look at it. I think there's some reference looking sort of targeting something more than 5 million ounces. I guess, you need those kind of numbers these days to make things work. And I guess it seems as though you certainly have a lot to shoot at and some really good starting points there with that Carlin mineralization at the waterfall zone. So I guess we should be watching, I guess, no drill results first quarter, but, well, other than those that haven't come in from this drill session. We should be getting some updated drill. We should be getting some drill results from the 2022 program yet, and then later on in the year, I guess.
That's right. The next news release people will see will be the last of our drill results from 2022. And then we'll be making any announcements on any small acquisitions or new targets that have emerged. Those will both come pretty soon. And we'll be at PDAC meeting with folks and sort of planning at that point to begin drilling in hopefully April, May. So a lot of news flow coming in the sort of heart of the field season. And we'll kick that off with a January release of news from drilling late in 2022, which will just be probably early next week.
I'm guessing you'll probably need to raise some capital this year, though, especially if you really hope to do an aggressive program. Crescat, no doubt, will be there, I would imagine. Any comments on that?
Yeah, that's right, Jay. The program went extraordinarily well. Not only were we on time with this year's program, we drilled mostly core instead of RC, which is more expensive drilling, but it yields higher quality. But I'm happy to say we shaved about 20% off our drilling costs for both core and RC drilling. Steve Osterberg, our Vice President Exploration, delivered the program on time and under budget, and we ended the year with over $1.4 million or something like that in the bank, which is plenty when you're not drilling, as you know. But certainly to hit the kind of program we hope to execute, we will be doing some marketing and looking to raise money appropriately. And all indications are that our big shareholders will be there for us. We've met with all of those folks and kept them informed, the two I mentioned plus a few others. So, we're optimistic. And, of course, the macro world of gold price, Jay, as you know, certainly dominates most in our space. Non-revenue generating companies that are out there to go find gold, so the big boys can come hopefully mine it, buy it from us or mine it with us. And as a result, you look at last year, we had great results. We traded up strongly in the first quarter on those drill results and into the second quarter. But then, of course, we saw quite a doldrums come in gold price, which hammered us and everybody else back. And so we're attuned to that. The macro climate always sort of overwhelms what we do, but we think a big discovery on this huge property, on a major gold trend in Nevada, with really exciting news all around us, particularly to our north with I80 Gold. We think the momentum is with us and the wind will be in our sails, and we've drilled a great new discovery that we've been reporting on over the last two seasons, which we think will again set us up well for the future.
Yeah, the water well zone, absolutely. Well, we'll certainly be looking forward to the information that comes forward and the new acquisitions that you're talking about, and certainly if we're right about the direction of the precious metals markets, that will put some wind in your sails, and it won't just be the big guys, the big shareholders, but a lot of other littler people will want to be coming in too. I'm quite certain of that, in the right environment with some great results, which I'm hoping for, and I know you are even more so. Well, thank you very much, Patrick, for joining us again and giving us an update. It is an exciting story, and we'll hope to keep up with you in the future. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jay. Good to be here as always.